Tyler, and I'll be taking you through the hand and wrist E&A. Before I start, I've got a set from my client. I've washed and sanitized my hands, and I've gone through all the E&A protocols with my client. For the instance for this video, we'll only be using one side of the body, when in actual reality you'll be doing the non-injured side versus the injured side. So first I'll be taking you through the movements, active, passive, and resisted of the wrist, fingers, and thumb. So I can just ask you to take a seat. Right, so first we'll be doing active movement of the wrist. So if I just get you to bring your wrist towards you, this is flexion of the wrist. If I just get you to do the opposite and extend your wrist over, this will be extension of the wrist. Now if I get you to bring your palm inwards, this will be ulnar deviation. Now if I get you to bring your wrist outwards, this will be radial deviation. Now the fingers, if I get you to curl them in towards yourself, this will be flexion of the fingers. Now if I get you to extend your fingers outwards, this will be extension of the fingers. Now if I get you to spread your fingers, this will be abduction of the fingers. Now if I get you to bring your fingers together, this will be adduction of the fingers. Now with the thumb, if I get you to bring your thumb into your palm, this will be flexion of the thumb. Now if I get you to bring your thumb outwards, this will be extension of the thumb. Now if I get you to bring your thumb up, this will be abduction of the thumb, and now if I get you to bring your thumb towards your finger like so, the side of it, this will be adduction of the thumb. Now if I get you to bring your little finger and thumb together, this will be opposition of the thumb. Now I'll be doing these passively, so back to the wrist. This will be flexion, extension, ulnar deviation, radial deviation, into the fingers, flexion, extension, adduction, and then abduction. With the thumb, flexion, extension, abduction, adduction, opposition. Now I'll be doing these resisted, so back to the wrist. Now if I get you to flex your wrist, extend your wrist first, and then match my force going upwards. So that will be resisted flexion. Now if I get you to do the opposite, and match my force. This would be resisted extension. Now if I get you to go into radial deviation and then match my force going the other way, this would be ulnar deviation. And then vice versa, if I get you to go into ulnar deviation and match my force going this way, this will be radial deviation. Now with the fingers, if I get you to extend your fingers first, and then match my force going the other way, this will be flexion of the fingers. If I get you to curl your fingers upwards, match my force going the other way, this will be extension of the fingers. Now if I get you to open out your fingers like that and squeeze, this will be resisted adduction. And if I get you to try to squeeze your fingers out, this will be resisted abduction. Now for the thumb, if I get you to bring your thumb into extension and then resist going inwards, this will be resisted flexion. If I get you to flex your thumb and then resist outwards, this will be resisted extension. Now if I get you to bring your finger inwards and come up, try to come up, this will be resisted abduction. If I get you to bring your finger up and then try and come down, matching my force, this will be resisted adduction. Now if I get you to bring your thumb and little finger together and then try and resist, this will be resisted opposition. Now I'll be moving on to the muscles, so starting with the wrist again. So the flexor carpi radialis, if I get you to flex your wrist and radial deviate, so that means coming outwards. And I'll be doing the opposite, so bringing the hand down and going inwards. So can I get you to match my force while I'm doing so? There we go. And then the next one I'll be doing is the flexor carpi Uranus. Uranus. So if I get you to flex your fingers and bring it inwards, and I'll be doing the opposite, so bringing it down and bringing it outwards. And matching my force while doing also. There we go. Now the palmar longus, if I just get you to flex your fingers, there we go, I'm matching my force. Now the next one will be the extensor carpi radialis and longus and brevis. So if I just get you to flip your fingers over And then if I get you to flex your fingers and bring your wrist inwards and match my force while I do the opposite. There we go. And then if I get you to do the extensor carpi ulnaris, which is flexing your fingers upwards and coming inwards. And while I do the opposite, which is bringing it down and out. So I match my resistance while doing so. Okay, there we go. Now next one will be onto the fingers. So the first one I'll be doing is the flexor digitorum super spinatus. Yeah, sorry, super. The next one.
It makes no sense.
Right, so next one I'll be doing is the flexor digitorum super. So the next one I'll be doing is the flexor digitorum superficialis and profundus. So if I get you to flex your fingers from there and match my resistance. There we go. Now the flexor digiti minimi, so that's your little finger. I'm gonna just get you to flex from here. There we go, match my resistance. There we go. Now the extender digitorum. If I just get you to flex your fingers upwards. Sorry, from there, sorry. There we go. And then the extensor digiti minimi, same thing with your little finger. There we go. Sorry, I'm holding your fingers there. There we go. Now the adductor digiti minimi. So if I get you to push out while matching resistance this way, there we go. So the next one I'll be doing is the adductor digiti minimi. So if I get you to resist while coming in, there we go. Now the next one I'll be doing is the dorsal interossi. So get you to squeeze your fingers out, match resistance. There we go. Now the palmar interossi, so I get you to spread your fingers and then squeeze in. And then the lumbricals, get you to push your fingers up this way and resist it. There we go. Now moving on to the muscles of the thumb. So the flexor pollicis longus. So if I get you to match my resistance while flexing, so there we go. And now the flexor pollicis brevis. There we go. Now the extensor pollicis longus. Do the same thing, so pushing out from here. Now the extensor pollicis brevis, pushing out from here. There we go. And then the adductor longus and brevis. Sorry, adductor pollicis longus and brevis. I just get you to push your thumb upwards while matching my force. There we go. And then the adductor, the adductor pollicis. So if I get you to push your thumb in while matching me, there we go. And the opponus pollicis and the opponus digiti minimi. So if I get you to squeeze your fingers together while I match you this way. Right, now going on to the ligaments of the hand and wrist. So the first one would be the radial collateral stress test. So if I get my patient into ulnar deviation and stress it this way, be stressing the radial collateral ligament. Then on the reverse, be stressing the ulnar collateral. Then the palmar, radial and ulnar stress test. I will be pushing my client's hand downwards, and then the dorsal, radial and ulnar stress test, I'll be flexing my client's hand forward. Now the medial and lateral stress test, it would be of the fingers. So I'll be first I'll be doing the medial ones. So every finger on the joint line. And also the thumb. Now I'll be doing the lateral side of them, so again, force in opposite direction on the joint lines.
Alright, finally I'll be doing palpation. We start off with
and the thumb again also. And the last part I'll be doing is the palpation of the hand and wrist. So the ulnar styloid is the bony landmark on the lateral side, the hand and wrist on top, sorry. Then you've got the radial styloid, which is on the opposite side on top. You'll see they're both bony landmarks, you'll see them. Then you've got the pisiform, which will follow up from your third finger, going upwards, which is around here. Then you've got the hook of the hamate, which is right next to it. Then you've got the scaphoid, which is on the side, if you follow it up from the thumb. There we go. Now if I get you just to close your hand in like this, and then follow it up, this is the carpal tunnel.